it's up there. All right. We're live. We are a little late, in fact. However, we had dogs, garage door repairman, everything happening. So, cleaning people, the works. Anyway, okay, day 4 of the fast. What's happening in your cells in your body today? Great stuff. Listen, the autophagy now is like ramping up. Here's the best part. So, the cells that your body is using, yeah, it's replacing those cells with stem cells now. So today is the day where we actually start to get the major rise of stem cells. You know, that's what it kills me. I actually had a few of you saying, well, I'm just going to do 3 days. No, you missed the point. You know, 4 days, you're missing the magic. And then day 5, it really ramps up. So tomorrow, so hang in there. Listen, you know, most of you should feel well today. Now, I know some of you don't because you're probably toxic. But the bottom line is by tomorrow, you know, no doubt you will have, you know, be utilizing those ketones in your fat very high. If you didn't watch last night's video, watch it because I talked about the ratio and knowing when you're at least going over that, that ratio to hit max autophagy. So that helps you with your glucose and ketones. Reading some of the things that you posted, some of you are still having elevated glucose. Look, it takes time, and if you haven't watched all the videos, how you prepare for a fast, many of you need to do that because it's the preparation before the fast is how you get the magic out of the fast. And it does take several fasts. And some of you trying to do water fast may do better with a partial fast or a fasting mimicking diet. Me personally, I'm on the fasting mimicking diet, and I have to say, my numbers this morning were actually, you know, terrible. It was like 2.9. But then through the day, I'm raising up and up and up and up. So it's going up by maybe mine, I haven't eaten yet today, my little box of food. But it may be in the 6s by now. So really different fast for me, I'm going to be honest with you. But I had some aches and pains in those places that I know need healed. So that was a good thing. Your experience, far more than me. Talk about it.
Yeah, so...
you might want to come closer.
I think by actually the first day in the afternoon, my ketones were 2.2 perhaps, and then they've just gone up ever since.
Day 1 because she fat adapted.
Right,
day 1. Day 2, it was like 3 something.
Right, and now this morning they were 6.8. I think they were 4.4 maybe yesterday, and then 6.8 this morning. My glucose was 51.
Yeah.
So, and I posted those photos on the group page. But yeah, so that's good because my hips are aching. And that's not good.
And that's where she needs the healing.
It's so true. And every time I fast, that's usually where it hits me. Last time, although I think it was a little better, and I slept a little better last night, I did not sleep great, and I got out of bed at 3 and, like, you know, took a walk into the living room and realized that I wasn't comfortable anyway, so I went back to bed. But it's just, I'm uncomfortable. And when I sit in the car too long, anything like that. But it's okay. It's good. I mean, it's good. We're on the home stretch now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what's happening. I mean, your body literally is healing. It's in the highest healing mode today and tomorrow. So hang in there. Some of you asked again about working out tomorrow.
I wish you could see my dogs. So cute.
Tomorrow is the day, if you're going to work out, would be the best day because growth hormone is at an all-time high. So there you go. And many of you will be eating. Tomorrow's video, I will be talking about how to break the fast. So I'll just say this now in case some of you are breaking the fast early, being attacked by dogs. You have to go low and slow. So we break it the way we do a partial fast or a fasting mimicking diet. We want to keep our calories between 500 and 800. So your stomach acid is low. And you can't throw a lot of food in it. So 500 to 800 calories in 1 or 2 meals is the way to break it. Very soft foods, avocados, some berries, those are great foods. Maybe some squash.
Kimchi. I love kimchi.
Yeah, kimchi to actually, you know, feed the good bacteria. But even that, you know, sometimes it may be too much. Raw vegetables, don't recommend them day 1. So no salads yet until maybe day 2 or day 3 for some of you. And again, no meat yet on day 1. So soft foods, maybe even a sweet potato, things like that. Steamed vegetables, but steam them pretty good. So that's what oils, your coconut oil, some olive oil, You know, I'm missing probably MCT oil. You could start some coffee a little bit. Don't do too much. It'll rev you up, believe me, but put your fats in it. So be careful with caffeine. Obviously no alcohol. Anyways, those are just things, but I'll go over it in more detail tomorrow. I'll kind of write things up on the board.
When's our first glass of wine?
Not tomorrow. Okay, now here's the, this is an inspirational message. So at this point, you know, again, this morning I spent time reading a lot, and I didn't get to respond to every one of you, and I probably read more than I responded to. But, you know, look, you know, many of you are in a broken place. One of the things about fasting that's magical is it breaks us, it humbles us. And that's where the miracles happen. That's where God works. And it's part of the reason why we make our list. It's part of the reason why we bring things to Him, because we're in a weakened state during a fast. We are. I mean, you know, even us efficient fasters, you know, we're still in a weakened state. And that represents brokenness. And that's when we finally are broken. God now can penetrate and start to speak to us. So
it's
listen.
Dependency.
It is. These 2 last days is typically when it really starts to happen. Just kind of, it reflects the healing that starts in the body. You know, that's when we start to actually even start to heal here, and God can start to speak to us. So I just want to read this to you, and then Merily has something as well. But the scripture is this that I like. It's from Psalms 51:17, and the sacrifices of God are a broken spirit. So that's what we're doing right now in the fast, is you're sacrificing a broken and contrite heart. Oh God, you will not despair. And that's from Psalms. But I love this. It was not until Gideon's 300, so his 300 men, the fighters, they were specially chosen soldiers, broke the jars that were in their hands, and that's from Judges 7:19, which symbolized brokenness in their lives, that the hidden light of the torches shone forth, bringing terror to their enemies. That's how they won the battle. Isn't that cool? But it was the brokenness. Now listen, it was once the poor widow broke the seal on her only remaining jar of oil and began to pour it, that God miraculously multiplied it to her debts, and thereby supplying her means of support. Brokenness. You see that? Brokenness. So it was once Jesus took 5 loaves of bread and broke them, that the bread was multiplied and to feed 5,000. Though the very process of the loaves being broken, the miracle occurred. I said that through the very brokenness of the bread is when the miracles occurred. So it wasn't until Mary broke her beautiful alabaster jar of very expensive perfume, that was in Matthew 26, destroying its future usefulness and value, that the wonderful fragrance filled the house. And that was when Jesus allowed his precious body to be broken by the thorns, nails, and spears, and the inner life that was poured out like an ocean of crystal clear water for the thirsty sinners to drink and then live. So when you look through Scripture, it's always about brokenness, but it's after something's been broken is when God moves. So my message to you is, you know, that's the key, is right now we're broken. You know, fasting represents a broken spirit, just like the broken jar, the broken loaves, I mean, everything, the broken fragrance. You know, and that's when God moves in our life, and that's when the miracles occur, as it just said. You know, and again, Gideon's men, when they broke the jars, that represented their brokenness, their weakness, just like we are in the fast, and then God moved, and then he took the battle for them, just like he will do for you. He will take the battle for us. Whatever we're praying for, you know, we're in a broken state, and I believe, and I want you to believe, that, you know, God's going to move in the situation that you're fasting for, whether it be for someone else, your family, friends, your health, whatever it is. Believe that your brokenness will lead to the miracle.
Absolutely. I don't have anything to add to that. That's exactly right. I mean, God is up to amazing things, and I really believe that oftentimes he brings us to that place where he wants us to acknowledge the fact that we can't do it. We can't do it. There's nothing within us. Mm-hmm. And that's when we surrender. And I think you and I learned that, and I don't know if I've shared this before, but when we went through some really, really, really hard times, and we always, you know, considered ourselves to be gifted enough to make it happen, resourceful, determined, committed, passionate, and making a difference also on top of it all. So we just kept going to, from plan A to plan B to plan C, and eventually we kept realizing,
eventually we broke.
Yeah, we broke. But what I learned in that, and what I ended up saying was, how I could even surrender, because I knew that God wanted surrender, and I didn't really understand how to do that. And what I learned was, when the pain of holding on is greater than letting go, you let go. You have no choice. But it is right there. It was literally like, it was this exchange that happened. It was that, it was in that moment of acknowledgement and saying we're done, that God just moved in and our life shifted. And it was so amazing. And I don't know that we ever just, you and I can't speak for anyone else, but it's not always our first response to just surrender, just lay it down.
No, that's not, human
we're especially us, personalities like ours, is, I know that we just get really determined to do things ourselves and make it happen, whatever it is. And even just, trying to interject logic into something, or, doesn't this make sense? And of course, if that makes sense, then we're just going to talk about it and it's going to work out. It just doesn't work like that, we have found. And so, for sure, I would definitely encourage you to just, even if you don't know how to surrender, just ask God to give you that ability of at least acknowledging that you're struggling to do that, but that you truly want Him to come in and to have His way and work it out, because you know that you can't. And His plan is, I promise you, better than you can ever imagine. It is absolutely so true.
We are at a point in our life, I lost my health, and that was some years of hell, literally. I wanted to die. That's how sick I was. And by the way, everything I'm teaching, all of it comes out of that. And when I was in Africa, the gentleman there, he was the leader, spiritual leader in that country, super strong guy. When you're in his presence, you're in the presence of greatness. And he said to me, I came off stage and he said, Dr. Pompa, your authority does not come from the knowledge, your school, etc. He went down the list. The authority comes from the victory God's given you. And through our hurts, there are victories, and God works in our purpose. I always tell the docs that I train, look for your purpose in your pain. And that was us. We lost everything. After that, then she lost her cousin Lisa, and they had 2 young twins at the time, boy and a girl. You met Olivia. She's one of them. Her twin brother, who worked the camera the other night, Dylan, who has his own business, who is on the autism spectrum, who, through the grace of God, everything I learned, I helped him. Anyways, they were 7 at the time, lost their parents. We took them in. We inherited the children. And we went through court battles for years. Headlines read, chiropractor steals from orphans. The 2 that you met, those kids that are 22 now. And our life went to shit.
We often say they love us more than our own.
So I lost my health because I must have had some pride in my strength, which I did. I was dyslexic, but I had a little bit of strength. I took pride in it, I guess. And then I lost my reputation, which my father always said that's the most important thing, which to an Italian man, that is. I lost that too. And then we lost all our money. So, everything to lose, we lost. Thank God we didn't lose each other, and that was close at one point too. But God gave me 3 promises, and we watched that. Number 1, I would fully regain my health. Number 2, He would unite our family like no other family, because we were destroyed. And number 3, the debt that I acquired through my health and through all that, He would restore. And that's what we're experiencing. So I say that, I didn't even plan to say any of that, but I say that to encourage you, because that's what God can do with brokenness. And in a fasting state, capture the brokenness and
anchor to the promises.
And anchor to the promises. All right, so in a little bit of time, it's 7 o'clock. That's the next hour here at my time, Mountain Time. I'm bringing Jason Fung on, if I can pull it together. And you're going to hear from one of the masters on fasting. He's at the next seminar, and that's in November. I keep telling you, doctors, you need to be there. Yeah, you got to hear this. But anyways, so stay tuned for Dr. Jason Fung. Thank you.
Good night.